Say hello to my little friend. So guys, today, as you can see, I got my little friend right here. That's my 3M Thinsulate. I'm going to be insulating the walls and the ceiling. And basically I went with the 3M Thinsulate because it has a good R value, decent R value at least, but the two main points that I decided to go with the 3M Thinsulate is the sound deadening. One, because we have two dogs, and basically whenever Shelby and I are in the van, the dogs are going to be with us, and we want the noise deadening because more so one of our dogs, Hoka, she gets a little jumpy sometimes when there's loud noises. It's things that startle her. She can really freak. So I want to keep the freak outs of the dogs to a minimum as much as possible while we're in the van, especially if we're somewhere. Shelby and I want to go grab a bite to eat, just want to maybe get away from the dogs for a few minutes. We want to be able to lock them in the van and know that they're not going to be freaking out the entire time at every noise that they hear because they're in an unfamiliar environment. So a big reason is them. The other thing with the 3M Thinsulate is, could be wrong, but as far as all the research I did, the 3M Thinsulate is one of the only insulations that will not absorb water. It won't mold. It's fire resistant, so it won't catch on fire. You know, you hold a flame up to this stuff and it'll basically just melt. So that's a big thing because inside the walls of these vans, it's very common and it will happen that condensation will build up, water will get in through the holes, and I want, if that water's inside, I want it to be able to drain out through the areas it's supposed to drain. So I went with it. Definitely not the most cost efficient way to go, but if you have the money to do it, just do it. I'm kind of thinking long term here, you know, a few years down the road. For one, I don't want any bugs to get into living in any of this. I don't want mold. I don't want to ever have to rip my walls down, rip my ceiling down just so that I can fix a mold problem or some type of bug infestation or something like that. You know, something crazy that I'm not planning on, but you know, it's all in the realm of possibility. So basically I'm going to be cutting it, putting it in each and every spot, filling all the gaps and cracks. I'm going to be using 3M High Strength 90. That's going to be the glue I'm going to use. And I also got myself a really dope pair of scissors. I think they're actually like tailoring scissors for cutting fabrics and whatnot. I actually got these about a month ago with the anticipation of getting to this, and we've had the opportunity to use them on a few things, and holy smokes, they're awesome. Which I'll put the link for everything down in the bio of the video. So just kind of come along for the ride as I kind of do this. I'm going to be learning as I go. All the knowledge I have is from YouTube videos and the few blogs I've read. So let's get into this shit. Okay, so I got this thing out of the plastic. First thing I noticed, it's already starting to expand. And if I didn't say so before, I did go with the more expensive 3M Thinsulate. I went with their, I believe it's the SM600L, which I'll also link. I can't remember who I went through. I will put who I went through in the links. They were really good. I want to say it's Van Direct, but they didn't currently have it in stock when I ordered it. The owners of the company, awesome, very good communication. It's just what I like in this whole process because, you know, ordering all this crazy stuff that I would never order otherwise would be a pain if it wasn't for good communication. So basically, I'm gonna unroll this. I'm gonna try to do it inside the van just because then I'm right here. May have to take it outside, we'll see. Basically though, I'm just gonna take my tape measure each spot, top to bottom. From everything I've heard, measure a little bit big, make it fit that way. So, and then I've already rubbed everything down, all the walls down with Simple Green. Simple Green's a friend. Again, use it, buy it for everything in your van build. It'll be your friend for any adhesives or just anything, keeping it clean while you're trying to work and do all this different stuff. So let's go ahead and get into this. Basically, I've measured my very first piece. I'm adding like a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch on each dimension. I'm gonna kind of figure this out as I go, but I'm just marking it out on my insulation, making a straight edge mark with this piece of plywood I have left over from the subfloor. And then I'm going to cut. Again, I think there's probably a better way to do this. I don't know that I want to keep using the Sharpie because it's kind of pulling the insulation apart. But let's go ahead and make our first cut. See how these $20 scissors work out. Everything I've read says this stuff's really hard to cut. These scissors going through it like a hot knife, like hot knife through butter. Yeah, that's the one. So, first piece I'm doing is this piece up here. I just cut it. I'm just going to dry fit it, and it should slide in pretty easy if my measurements are correct. Just kind of tuck it back. Be careful as you're doing this kind of stuff. There are sharp edges in here. I've seen people cut their hands. I'm going to try to avoid that at all costs today. But as you can see, fits really good. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of go through and make some of these cuts on the pieces that are going to stay without being held up. That way everything doesn't get all confused. But then I'll come back. And I got to say one other thing. As you're doing this, you're going to have your cuts and you're going to have little pieces left over. Keep all of them. They can all be stuffed into these little cracks, these little crevices all over the place that aren't going to have the bigger pieces in them. You want to fill in everything you can to help keep heat in, keep cold out, dampen the sound, all that jazz. Just want to show you real quick. First piece, I just put it up for now. It's not glued, but I taped it into place. That way I don't forget what's what. And then over here, oh, okay. So over here, grab my scissors. I'm just kind of putting it up. As you can see, it's not a straight edge here. It's curved. This is where my fern strip's gonna go, so I'm not trying to cover all that up. So basically, it's gonna kind of hold it here. And I'm going to just kind of cut a little corner off like I did on this one. Just kind of eyeball it. You don't have to be perfect with all this stuff because guess what? It's all going to get covered. So now that piece is there. Fits good. I like the way it fits. Again, as I said, all these little pieces, keep them, okay? Because they can all go into these little cracks wherever. After I'm done doing these big pieces, I'm going to go around and I'm going to put all these little guys into it. I don't want to throw any of this stuff away. It's very expensive, and ultimately it's going to be more satisfying at the end if we use everything. Okay, so this here is my piece that goes on this side in this slot. On the other side of the van, it's the exact same. just reversed, mirror image. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'll show you right here. Yeah, okay, bear with me. Okay, so it's gonna go on the other side of the van like this. Don't mind me, I already traced it out once and it was wrong. So, I should be able to just kind of line it up on my thing here and kind of trace around it. Okay, just like that. And I'm going to be able to cut my lines and it'll fit perfect. Okay, as I was just showing you, I took my piece off the other side. It's a mirror image on this side. All I did was take that piece off since I had already cut it to fit, and I literally just traced this on, flipped, so that we can fit perfectly in here. It's going to save me a little bit of time and just make it a little bit easier. So I'm going to do that for all these pieces on this side. And then I'm going to be just filling in gaps, but I'm going to be ready to glue some stuff on the van. Okay, so I am, again, this is what I'm using, 3M90 high strength. I've already sprayed one piece of insulation, put it up. I highly recommend put a mask on. Luckily, since the way of the world, COVID stuff, I already own the mask, so it'll at least help keep some of the fumes out. You should probably think about wearing a respirator. If you already have your windows in, all that jazz, open up the windows, open up both sets of doors, because this stuff is strong. I just wanted to do one test run, but I'll kind of show you here. I'm just laying out my pieces here. I'm going to spray a coat across those on a piece of cardboard so it doesn't get all over my subfloor. And then I'll be up here in these two sections. This is where they go. So here we go. Okay, a couple of things real quick while I let these two sections kind of get tacky is read the directions on this stuff. If you're putting two surfaces together, you want to spray on both your insulation and your van walls. And it says on here, use the back of your knuckles after 1 to 2 minutes or so. It should be ready. You can test it by using the back of your knuckle. Just touch the surface like this. And if nothing transfers to your skin, then it's ready to go. Alright, so I'm over here. It's been about 2 or 3 minutes. I'm sure, just be aware, I'm sure that the weather outside, your ambient temperature is going to have a little bit to do with it. It's only like 50 degrees here right now. So it is on, I guess the colder side, it's not hot. I imagine if it's kind of hot, it may take a little bit longer for it to be ready. But it's been about 2 or 3 minutes and there's nothing transferring to my skin. So I'm going to take my piece of insulation here, just kind of line it up, put her on. You're just going to kind of press gently.
or firmly, however you want. Try not to crush your insulation down too much so that it you don't want it to be like, you know, pancaked in there, because the insulation is supposed to be fluffy. But as you can see, super easy. Not bad at all. It's really easy to work with. It's cool. I like it. So continuing on with the insulation, I ended up stopping because we have these panels here that are covering these cavities in the doors. I've already taken a couple off, but I ended up going and buying like an automobile panel trim removal tool set or whatever. I know you can get them on Amazon. I'll find one to link in the notes for this, but it makes it super easy. It's just a little thing. It goes down around these little push pin deals, and it literally just pops them right out. It makes it super easy and quick, instead of struggling with it and fighting it, and it doesn't break the panel. That way, if you want to reuse the panel, you can, or whatever, but it doesn't damage anything, which makes it super easy. Whoops. And then that will open this all up so that we can go ahead and put insulation in all this and just be able to control the climate a little even better in the van.
Hello folks. So I have absolutely no idea where we left off on the video because it's been a couple weeks since we've worked on the van. So we just wanted to give this video a little update. Like I said, I have no idea where Scott left off on the videos. So what we have done today is we're pretty much done with the insulation. We still need to do the roof. But we have insulated all these little nooks and crannies. We got, you know, big pieces in all of these little holes. Just tons of the little areas where we put insulation in, you know, stuff like that. So it took quite a while. I mean, it was a process. We literally had to take a screwdriver and guide the insulation all the way through to each side. So it took about 15-20 minutes per these thingies. Almost done. Not cold or anything.
He's down there cutting the insulation like a boss for the roof. Getting super good at it.
Basically a professional insulation cutter.
Yeah. Look at her go. We do have like the best scissors in the world.
We do. Right, we are completely done with the insulation. Everything is insulated. We had the heat on last night and it's actually really warm in here, so we're super excited about that. We are done with the roof rack as well. I don't know if we're gonna have a full-on video for that just because I wasn't here to help Scott video, so I'm gonna be a lot better about that. Because we want to be able to video every little process. So the next thing that we're going to be doing is the framing. I know Scott has started it today. He's been working on it a little bit, but
yeah, I broke it. It'll be an interesting video. I broke the tool on the second cross nut I landed, so I'll kind of talk about that when we get into the framing video.
And we are going to get into that hopefully by tomorrow. So see you guys on the next video. I feel like Scott. All right, see you guys.